Sunderland fans forum. We have a clean sheet. We have a new goalkeeper who looks like a safe pair of hands. We have a striker who has scored 2 games in a row, and we've got a win at Old Trafford. So all is well this afternoon, but we are going to break it down with Kev, Mordzs and Ricky. Welcome everyone. Are we all happy with that?
United are back.
Over the moon with it. Yeah. Absolutely over the moon with it. Yeah. What a difference.
Clean sheet, eh?
Big difference. I think it highlighted how important the spine of a team can be. I think Ruben Amorim did make a few in-game tweaks that made us play better and close down the space a little bit more. Of course, it wasn't perfect. I do think Sunderland made us look better at times. I don't think they were very good, but there's so many things that you can talk about today which makes you think, you know what? I've seen something today that makes me think we can build on this. Do you feel like that, Kev?
I do. At the same time, I don't want to get too carried away.
It's Liverpool away next.
I'm thinking.
I thought Kev's being positive. I'll set him up to go out there and say we're back.
I've been on this channel too long. I always make these silly predictions and mistakes. But we're going into the international break with 3 points, clean sheet. Ricky will be absolutely delighted with that. I think Ruben Roulette, as I call it, the team news when it come out, I think we've all wanted to see Lammens, starting there, and I thought he did really well. Ahmad, I think, was just his usual self. Really, really good, and absolutely delighted with the 3 points. But it is Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, to be fair, I think Sunderland's league position might make Manchester United fans and maybe other football fans think, you know what, that's a really good day at the office for Manchester United. You do have to remember they are a newly promoted side. Their record at home is much better than away. But I still don't think you can take away from the fact that you have the likes of Benjamin Sesko putting in a proper striker's performance, which we've lacked for a long time. You have Ahmad looking like he's back to his best. I thought was absolutely amazing today. I mean, you have Mbumo and Ahmad kind of linking up and feeling like they're building that chemistry together. Bruno and Casemiro, I actually thought played well together, which is a big change there in the midfield. There's quite a lot to write home about. I mean, Ricky, I know you're very critical, but what was your feelings walking out of there? Are you happy, and what did you like to see?
I was more than happy with Mason Mount starting in that number 10 role. His work rate's absolutely fantastic, and he drops back in to make it a 3-man midfield. And I noticed something which I'll mention now, and I'm going to try and see it on the TV when I've got it recorded, but I might not be able to because it doesn't involve the ball. So in the first half, Mason Mount has dropped into they've got the ball, he's dropped into a position just this side of the halfway line, he's just inside his own half, and he's got his eyes on, he's on the left wing, he's got his eyes on a player that's 4 or 5 yards in front of him. But there was a defender, a Sunderland defender, 20 yards deeper, and Bruno was like that to Mason Mount. Go on him, go on him. And Mason Mount pointed at the lad who he's got, who to me is the one who you should be marking. He's the one who's closer to the goal. You don't want him to pass it to him. So, and I've said on here so many times, just be in position, and maybe they don't pass it there. So he's in position, they don't pass it to him. If he'd gone on to the full-back, which was 20 yards deeper, maybe, but that might be the manager's tactics, it might be Bruno's tactics, but I've said, and again, I said it on the build-up show, too many midfield can't cover the width. So Mason Mount was level with Casemiro and Bruno. If he'd gone 20 yards further forward onto the full-back, Bruno's then got 25 yards to get to this player if they pass it to him. You've just got to have 3 across the middle, and I think Mason Mount knows that. And the next time the ball went out, I looked at them speaking to each, I had no idea what they were saying, but Mason Mount might have been saying, I know you're the skipper, but I'm going to drop there when they've got that ball.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually looking for somebody else to ring up Mason Mount than me for once, but you know what, you've brought him up. I was gonna wait
you
a little bit.
You can have your say.
But you brought him up, so I'm going to talk about it. There is a clear difference in the way we play than when Mason Mount is in the team and when he's not, because he's super intelligent. The way that he drops into certain spaces to receive the ball, the way that he closes people down, the way that he's always got his head on a swivel, the one-touch football, he's really good. He just does the basics so well. He's a good quality football player, and it just makes the team tick more, like you were saying, Ricky. And I think the fact that he started him today over the likes of Cunha, who is a new signing, he spent £65 million on, if not maybe touching a little bit more, who I think is a really good player, by the way, just shows how much Amorim does rate him. And even him subbing him off, he was still playing really well. The way he was, closing down the space, tackling people, the ball was sticking to him like glue, gliding through, and then the pass off was good. It's just a shame, unfortunately, he was working with Dallo, who couldn't cross at all. Mount was doing so many good things, and he'd pass it off to Dallo, and then nothing would happen from it. But
strong management that as well, I'd say today, because Cunha I thought it was awful last week, whether he rushed him back or whatever, but to make that call, because make no bones about it, he was dropped today, Cunha, for Mount. Yeah,
he was. And Mount showed why he deserved to play, and so many of the fans were like, why is he playing, why is he playing, why is he playing? In the games we've played this season where he's played, we have looked better, because he's an intelligent player. So it wasn't all Mason Mount, there was so many other players who played well today as well, but it's about, like Ricky always says, the team and how you play as a team. And when you've got more players in that team that are intelligent and know how to do the basics of football right, it gives you a better chance. And even him getting subbed off was a compliment from Amorim, because he obviously values him a lot, and he is injury prone, unfortunately. So he was protecting him there.
It's not the system, is it? It's little tweaks, as you've just mentioned. I think once you've got the correct personnel and everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet, the system is not an issue. A lot's been made of it this week. Is he going to rip it up? Is he going to change it? It doesn't necessarily have to be the formation. It's having players like Mount, who obviously under Ten Hag, he liked him, and obviously Amorim clearly likes him as well and rates him. Yeah.
I mean, Mords, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know that you have kind of grown this season to really like Mason Mount.
Yeah. One thing about Mason Mount that I like is that he takes his opportunities when he gets it. We all know he's been struggling with injuries his whole kind of time at United, but every time he does come back from injury, he makes an impact straight away. Last season when he came back from injury near the end of the season, straight away he's one of our better players, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why he ended up starting in the finals, because he made that impact when he got his opportunity. So I'm not really surprised that Mason Mount's kind of come into this team so far this season, and every time he's played, he's made a positive impact, and has made Amorim actually have to think twice now about who he's going to pick in that position. Because when we were on the build-up show, we were talking about, obviously we're doing like a predicted lineup, and we put Mbeumo in on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, we straight away said, oh, but it's out of Bruno. Well, we were picking like who we would want, and we were straight away saying, oh, it's out of Bruno and Cunha, and then, but realistically, why didn't we say Mount straight away?
I think we did in the end.
In the end we said Mount, yeah.
Ricky.
And Beth said he's been our best player, but she still didn't pick him.
Right.
She actually did say that. He's been our best player this season, but she put Bruno.
Well, like you said, I didn't say he's been our best player this season. I didn't. Ricky loves to twist things. Little bits of the story he likes to change. I said he's been one of our best players this season, not our best player this season. And the reason I didn't put him in is because I was putting Bruno high up in the pitch where he hasn't played.
But Bruno can't play like that. He can't play as well as that, Bruno. He's not.
And then I think Mbeumo is our best attacker, which is why I put Mbeumo in there. So, Mason Mount.
Bruno had a fair game today, to be fair.
He did. Mason Mount, and do you know what I've noticed as well? I think Bruno plays better when Mason Mount's playing.
Players play better with better players.
Yeah.
It happens every time. Every time I see Mount and Bruno in the same team, I always think Bruno has a good game.
I saw the ball get past to Bruno just outside the box, and he helped it out to the left wing instantly, and I thought he don't normally do that, and I'm sure it's to do with the players passing the ball better and moving it quickly, and it's infectious.
Yeah.
It's infectious.
Yeah. We've already got so many people coming into the comments, so keep getting your opinions in. It's a positive fans forum, so you've got to stick around. And we've got to talk about our new goalkeeper as well. Notori says, looked great until Bruno moved into the 10. PJ United said, he's got a bee in his bonnet about Bruno and his 10. He's said it multiple times today. PJ United says, Luke Shaw is terrible, being here far too long. I don't understand it. I was watching Mark's players ratings before, and he gave him a 6, and he got like a 5.8 in the player ratings. I thought he was fantastic apart from that slight little thing at the end.
Nobody didn't make one error, not one player. Yeah. Not one player doesn't make an error. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
in 95
to
minutes
jump on him and go,
look
at that. You know what I mean? That's what it's like.
That's what you do with Bruno.
No, Bruno does loads of errors. Bruno does loads, generally. He's better today. Generally does loads of errors.
But I thought Luke Shaw was good. I thought he definitely wasn't our worst centre-back, I'll put it that way.
No. I want you to put that poll up, by the way. Can we put this poll up?
Go on.
Because Mordzs is always slagging Shaw off to me, and I'm always putting it out there that I would welcome with open arms to come and watch. Just half a game will do. Just half a game. So in the poll, and if it's more than 50% in favour of don't bother, then fair enough. But I'd like to say that Mordzs isn't allowed to slag Luke Shaw off anymore until he's been to my house and showed me a poor performance and showed me that he's doing wrong. So if it goes to above 50% that you want him to come, then I want him to come. But if it's less than 50%, then not bothered, I'll let him off.
I'll do it anyway, but put
okay, we'll run the poll.
So
it's Mordzs going
there's
to
an offer you can't refuse.
So watch to show me how bad Luke Shaw is.
I didn't say he was bad today.
I would like a referee to be there to sort of, because obviously I'll be saying
we're going to have to do that.
Well, we can all go, because I'll be saying, look how good that is, and obviously he'll be saying, oh, he ain't that good. You know what I mean?
No, but it's got to be a game that I agree he wasn't bad. He wasn't, because there's games that I agree that he's good.
I've already got one. I've already got one that I'd like to pick because I was in Spain last week and I saw all the comments going on at half time. Yeah. So it's at half time, so we've only got to watch half a game. And the comments were going on, and from Usman as well, saying how poor Luke Shaw was. And I've rewatched that game.
Which game?
He was the last week, only the first half, because the comments were at half time against Brentford. And he's the best player on the field by a country mile. He hardly puts a foot wrong. So I want you to come and show me why you were saying he was poor at half time against Brentford.
I didn't say that though.
Well, maybe not. I just remember loads of comments.
Let's watch the City game or the final for the Europa League.
If you want.
Let's run the poll. Are we all going to Ricky's house? Saint Blanco says, Mordzs trim is so fresh. Andrew Goose says, Sunderland is a good team with Xhaka in midfield. Shaw was terrible. Lammens was terrible. Lammens was good, taking the ball in the air. First half was 9 out of 10. Second half was 7 out of 10. Anil says, this team can do well if we drop Bruno and play anyone who plays simple passes to feet quickly with the right weight. JB says, Ricky, Shaw will be replaced by Martinez or Heaven.
Eventually he will, because he's in his 30s now, but he won't get replaced while he's still the best player. Somebody phoned me up today, actually, before I left, and said, you want to say this on that show tonight? You've got to tell them, you don't leave a player out of your team while he's still your best player, no matter how old he is in that position. And he's the best player in that position, and he will be for 2 or 3 more years if he stays fit. Well, if he's not fit, he's still the best player in that position. It's just that he's not fit.
Well, I do want to say that, actually. I don't want to spend loads of time on Shaw because we've got loads to talk about. But he's stayed fit for quite a while now, touch wood. So, like, that is a good, solid improvement.
Let's move on.
Yes. Castle says, let's not get carried away with the results. And Brian says, Ricky, you are the man. Met you in Dublin and you're a gents. You know ball despite thinking McTominay is good. Well, McTominay was nominated for Ballon d'Or. So. That's where we were in the house, saying, best day when United wins and seeing the best crew happy. To my handsome Kim Kev, make sure Grumpy Ricky doesn't pick Shaw as man of the match. Well, we've got a rule. Ricky's allowed to pick Shaw, but then he's also allowed to have another pick of anybody else but
Anyone but Shaw.
But look, guys, keep sending your comments in. But we've got to talk about it. Obviously, we've got a new goalkeeper in the house. First game, first clean sheet. We don't want to go over the top, but does everybody feel more comfortable with Senny Lammens?
Can I go over the top?
Yeah,
Can I go over the top? I was absolutely over the moon with him. He's got a presence about him. He looks like a goalkeeper. As soon as you watch him walk into his box for the start of the game, I just think he looks like a goalie. The balls are coming in, and he's commanding in the air. He's kicking with both feet, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Yep. Honestly, look. It's not I was about to say any keeper can make saves. Everybody talks about saves, but it's not all about the saves.
Any keeper can make a save.
Yeah, it's not all about the saves. It's about how commanding you are. It's about how comfortable you are with the ball at your feet. You know, them kicks that he's putting comfortably with either foot right up to the halfway line. Another keeper's scuffing them, they're staying this low, and they're getting cut out regularly, and you don't relieve the pressure, and you sometimes concede goals because you're under pressure. It doesn't have to be because, you know, if a goalkeeper kicks a ball out and they get it dead easily, they don't have to score straight away from that. It could be 2 minutes later. It's about the build-up of pressure, but he relieves the pressure so easily, and he looks the part to me.
So refreshing.
He looks the part.
We've literally got a goalkeeper. It's not an overreaction to one game. Yeah, but look at what we've been subjected to with Onana. It's literally been horrendous watching him. The save he made from, was it Xhaka today? Was that the first half?
That was a good save.
Really good save. doesn't push it into the side of the net, you know, puts it away from the danger area. Just basic stuff, but it's only because we've been subjected to Onana, who's literally a bit of a clown in net, that now we're applauding. As Ricky rightly said, he knew when to play the short passes, knew when to play the long passes, mixed it up, and so refreshing to see somebody that commanded the area, come out, caught crosses, not punching them. You know, little instances like that in a game save you a few seconds, don't they? Towards the end, he's coming out, you know, get the ball, waste a bit of time. We didn't have that with Onana, and he was supposed to be the keeper that played out from the back. I think Lammens has shown today that he can do that.
Well, he's got the same amount of Premier League clean sheets as Binder in his first game.
Yeah, never conceded a Premier League goal.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, exactly.
Who else can say that?
Do you know what as well, which I think is so important for a goalkeeper, which I was happy to see today, is temperament. Like, he seemed calm, didn't seem like the occasion was getting to him. He was obviously going to be nervous as a young keeper playing at Old Trafford for the first time, but he just looked so smooth at it. So smooth.
There's no hiding place at Old Trafford.
I think he's 23. I'll absolutely double check. But
he's still very young.
It's looking good in terms of when life gives you Lammens, as they say.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old. He was 23 on the 7th of July in 2002.
It's a tough position to play, isn't it?
Than me.
Wow. Yeah. Spotlight was well on him today, and I think he's passed the test for first game.
Yeah, so hopefully it continues from here. And we spoke about on this forum multiple times how important it is to have a good spine of the team. I mean, every position is important, but your spine is what your bread and butter is. Goalkeeper, midfield, striker. Midfield, it's a big debate that goes on and on every week. But another side of the pitch.
You missed out the most important bit. You just said goalkeeper, midfield, striker.
Centre back.
Centre backs. They're the most important ones.
Centre back
after
as
the
well.
keeper.
Centre backs as well, everyone. But centre backs wise, we've spoken about that quite a lot. I think we'll speak about it again later in the show. But two areas that have consistently let us down, well, three areas that have consistently let us down, is the striker, the midfield, and the goalkeeper. Centre backs can be hit and miss, but I think overall it's probably our better area of the pitch, right? So, striker today, Benjamin Sesko. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to say too much, I'm going to let you get into it. But Mords, what did you think of his performance?
I thought it was good. I thought what I noticed about him was he was trying to get involved a lot, which is what I wanted to see, because we've seen time and time again our striker just be an absolute ghost in the game, just constantly looking for someone to give him the ball. And if Sesko was to keep on doing that, he'd just be a ghost every single game. But I thought today he really tried to get involved. He tried to drop in deep and collect the ball, and even play it out, and even link up sometimes with our other players. And yes, he wasn't perfect. I'm not going to make it seem like he was this crazy man of the match. But I thought he was actually pretty good. And obviously he got his goal as well, which was a huge positive. Back-to-back goals now. You can see the confidence he's gaining as well from that. And one thing that I noticed as well was in the last game, I felt like he was forcing it a little bit. There was times where he'd get the ball on the edge of the box and he'd just shoot for no reason, but he didn't need to. But I feel like now he's kind of learning when and where to shoot, when to give the ball out, and also getting good positions as well to also be on the end of chances. So I was very happy with his performance today.
Agreed. I thought he played really well.
Yeah. I thought he grew into the game as well. You can see with each bit more confidence he has, each pass that goes well. The goal obviously massively helped him. He just comes into the game. When he first started, there was a couple little touches where maybe it didn't reach the player he wanted to, but he keeps going and going and going. And by a certain point in the game, them outswinging in passes, to the wide players as he was getting the ball, turning and just hitting it into space, particularly to Ahmad, who his positional awareness is fantastic and he was excellent again today. But it wasn't just him being in the right moments at the right time. Even for his goal, he's dropped back into a position where a striker should always be reading the game and dropping in and out of space. It's a striker's finish, it's a striker's position he's in. And not only was it that, but it was actually being able to interlink the play as well. Getting his head on more balls coming over from Lammens at the start, was wrestling with the centre-back quite a bit, but by the second half he seemed to usually get the right side of him and have a good go at it. So considering it's his third game I think in the Premier League and he's not had that many minutes, he's really exciting. And I was unsure of him when he first came in, and Christopher Vivell at this moment in time it's looking like a really good prospect, and considering you didn't have we did have inverted fullbacks playing, he still saw a lot of the ball. Like Maud said, a lot of it was for his own doing as well.
As Maud said, I like the fact that he come looking for the ball today, dropped in, but the press, it starts from the front, doesn't it? So Sesko is in effect setting the press for every single sort of, when we're trying to hunt in packs and close down. I thought Sesko did that brilliantly today. I mean, I watched midweek Højlund's performance, Napoli against Sporting, and I mean the ball that like De Bruyne put in for Højlund, it was ridiculous, you know, ridiculously good. And I did look and I'm thinking, you know, if we'd have given him that kind of service, but I think in this team and this system now with the players that are kind of behind him, it is set up for that. But at the same time, I did like the fact that he looked to get involved today. And he set the press. I think really good performance. Yeah. Took his goal really well as well, because he had to anticipate that as it was coming in. Yeah. You know, that's a kind of striker's instinct. Yeah, it was really good to see. I mean, I want to talk about. I mean, I'll get some comments in actually, and then I want to talk a little bit about Amad and also a couple of tweaks Amorim made to the system. I do think the way that we set up in and out of possession was a little bit different. I do think a big reason for that is because Mount is a brilliant organiser and he's really good at reading the game. Not just him, I do think Amorim did make some tactical tweaks which we will talk about, which helped us. But Mini19 says Casemiro is on a different level compared to Ugarte. I know he's not young, but you can't buy flair. Our midfield was so much better with Casemiro playing. I think made a big difference. I do think Casemiro is better than Ugarte currently, but what made a difference was the tweaks Amorim made. So there was less space. That's the difference. People have got to realise there was less space. There's differences in who you're playing against. There's differences in who you're playing with. You know, we were Brentford away last week, with Sunderland at home this week. Two massively different games. And then also he's got Mason Mount playing next to him, rather than Kuna dribbling it and losing it all the time. I do think as well today, oftentimes you could see, you know, the back five, the four across the middle, and then just Sesko really doing the press himself up front. And Mbeumo was quite reluctant to go fully in for the press. So was Mount. So was Bruno. Whereas, for example, in the Brentford game, we're constantly trying to, you know, get in and press up high, same as we did against City, and it did kind of backfire when it isn't successful. You're left with such big gaps. Today, I think oftentimes we were quite compact. We did sit off, and there was a trigger point. And we'd go for it when there was that trigger point in safe moments. And I think that it made it. For example, you didn't see Casemiro stranded on his own trying to handle three midfielders coming at him, because we didn't give Sunderland the opportunity, because we didn't give them the opportunity to get round us as easily. It happened sometimes. It did happen sometimes, but I think the way we attacked this game was different. We sort of stood off Sunderland a bit at times, and that helped us because we could just pick them off at the right time. And you know, in certain points you'd have, you know, Sesko was the one mainly that was doing the pressing, but then you'd have Mbeumo jumping as well. It'd go to a front two at times, and Amad would kind of jump up into being into a midfielder, which helped and threw Sunderland off guard. But it was different today in terms of the way we set up, which makes the midfield look better. It helps them, doesn't it, not having all that space to cover. But yeah, it's not changing the formation, is it? It's just little tweaks like that. In terms of the performance from last week against Brentford, which was absolutely horrific, as you rightly say, the gaps were not there today. We seemed to push up as a team. I said last week it looked like a load of individuals that had just been thrown together, you know, for an FPL charity match or something, but it looked like they'd never played together yet. Today, in stark contrast, you had a team a bit like the Chelsea performance as well, where from the first whistle we were straight out the traps. You get the early goal, and that's when I think that system does kind of kick in then, because you can play on the counter. Defensively, you look solid, but the gaps were not there in midfield, and it made a huge difference today. Yeah, I like when I don't know if it can happen against all opposition, but I really like the fact that when we were going forward, oftentimes Yoro would kind of drop into right back area. Amad would be holding the width. His combinations with Mbeumo was really good. It just gives you that extra man when you're getting forward, and gives Sunderland something to think about, especially with how dangerous Mbeumo and Amad can be. But I mean, we've got Mini19. Thank you for that one. Rianul says Sesko is a total beast. Marlo says Lammens was good. Sunderland's goalie looked better though, but promising for the future. Yeah, he was so good. That save where he tipped, I think it was Bruno's shot onto the bar. One of the best saves I've ever seen, genuinely. Yeah. I was so close to it as well. I was like, wow.
Andreas Goose says, okay, I will admit it, Dalot is worse than Shaw. O'Mile says, it's cup year, this explains Shaw's fitness. Yeah. JB, thank you for the United Stand memberships. Miles Clark says, great seeing Lammens command his box. Yeah, thank you very much. Right, Ricky, 3 words to describe Ahmad.
Absolutely brilliant. That's only 2.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sounded like 3, didn't it? Absolutely.
Bleep brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely bloody brilliant.
There we go. That is the one. I mean,
class.
Mordzs. People getting on Ahmad's back before he was out last game. I thought we missed him against Brentford. I mean, what did you make of his performance today? And his growing partnership with Mbumo as well. Yeah,
I mean, look, Ahmad's just a very... I don't understand where... Because I didn't see the Chelsea game, or there's another game that I didn't get to watch as well. And there was a lot of criticism. I was a bit confused, because I understand, yes, he's not started off the season as well as he did last season. We can all accept that. But to just kind of write him off and almost be like, oh, Ahmad, he shouldn't be starting or whatever, like, we're forgetting the player that we have. This is the same player that we were at one point begging to start. Under Ten Hag, we were literally begging for him to start every game because we knew how good he was. And it's only a matter of time before he shows us exactly how good he is. And I think today was a perfect example. And look, I think, first of all, yeah, you're right in terms of that connection with Mbumo. Not even just Mbumo as well, with Sesko as well, him getting in behind. And one thing that I love about Ahmad the most is he keeps the ball very, very well. Even if he's running full pace at the defenders and it almost looks like he's about to lose the ball, he'll just like do a little touch and he'll just get out of trouble and he'll keep it and keep the ball moving. And I think that's a really underrated attribute, because a lot of wingers, they're direct, but they lose a ball if they're not getting a crossing or if they get double teamed or whatever. Ahmad, even if he gets double teamed, he's either getting out of trouble and just making it past him, or he's keeping it, he's spinning it back and he's recycling the ball. So I think that's a very, very underrated attribute of his. And yeah, I don't genuinely, from this point on, I don't even want to hear debates as to whether Ahmad should be starting over Dalot or anybody else who's in that position.
He makes the game look easy, doesn't he? He looks like he's years ahead of his time, but I mean, what he gives you over a Dorgu or a Dalot is, again, we talk about tweaks to the actual system, the personnel that's in it. In the final third, you've got a player that's potentially could be a number 10, could play anywhere. You know, even the fact that he's playing as a right wing back at this moment in time. Defensively, he's still good, but it gives you just something extra on that side. And the partnership with Mbumo as well, them two, they seem to be on, you know, they've clicked. They're on the same wavelength already, which can only be good for us really on that side, because a lot of the good things that we did today seem to come down that side. And it's no, you know what I mean, it's no coincidence that Ahmad was on that side of the pitch where a lot went well. And
I even think defensively, I actually think he's underrated defensively, because on that side, him and Euro, the way he was tracking back and he was actually helping Euro on that side as well, you know, pressing and winning the ball back. A lot of people make it seem like, oh, if you play Ahmad, it's a liability and that they're going to target that side. Ahmad gets back very, very well. You can never underestimate, or you can never get onto Ahmad for his work rate or his tracking back. That's one thing you can never say about him, because he runs back just as much as anybody else. And in terms of pressing high up the pitch, I don't know the stats, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably scored the most goals by pressing high up the pitch than any other player in our team. Last season we saw it so many times.
Even in the league, honestly. I think he's
maybe
one of the
in the league
best
as well.
Players I've seen, with the anticipation of when to pounce and get that ball, and then the speed and the strength to just absolutely, you know, leave his player for dust. And it balls you think there's no way on earth he's winning that, and he'll just nick in there and then off he pops. Like it's really weird to see.
I think it's underrated.
Even the opportunity in the first half, he makes that for himself. You know, cutting in off the line, keeper makes a save. But again, if you've got Dalot or a Dorgu in that position, they're never ever taking that risk or, you know, creating a moment like that on the edge of the box. Ahmad's got it in him because he's an attacking-minded player, but defensively, I think he was solid as well.
My question is this: I agree with all points, and my question is, can Ahmad successfully play that position in every single game, not just against Sunderland or Southampton? And I don't want to disrespect teams, because Sunderland's done really well, and you know there is some teams that usually are in the bottom half of the table, have come up from the Championship, that can give you a really good game. We've seen it, but is it one of them where he's most suited to them sort of teams at Old Trafford, or can he play there in an away game against a Chelsea? Like, can
he got the equaliser at Anfield last year, didn't he?
Was it from wing back?
I think it was. Didn't he come running across from that flank?
He played
just so you guys know, I think he can. I think he's that good that he can. I think Amorim needs to trust him, and with the right partner next to him, like for example, you know, Yoro being there, and him and Mbumo definitely looking more fluid together. I think he can. I think it's his best position. But it is an argument because someone texted me. The reason why I bring it up is someone texted me during the game saying Ahmad's unreal in games like this. And he's like, they're like, I don't know if he'd do it against. I don't know if.
City,
obviously, he's unreal against. He could be unreal against City. He could be unreal against Liverpool. But they don't know if he can do it at wing back in them games. I think he can. But do you guys think he can?
I think he was also playing wing back at City last year when he won a pen and scored the winner. Sure, he was.
Does he not move into the 10 when Mount came off injured?
I think he did.
Left side of 10 position.
I mean, I think he can.
But can I check them things out now?
What I will say is, when it comes to like being wing back, the reason why I feel like a lot of people say it's the hardest position is because you're judged equally as much as your defensive attributes as your offensive attributes. You have to be a very good offensive player and a very good defensive player for people to actually say you're a very good wing back. And I feel like with Ahmad, offensively, I don't think anyone can tell me that he's not good enough to play against City or Liverpool and all these kind of players.
Oh, God, yeah.
No one can tell me that.
He's one of the best players in our team, technically.
Exactly. So realistically, it's like, where do you think the problem is if you think he can't do that? Because if you think it's defensively,
that's what people would think.
Then again, it's like I still think he's underrated defensively. I feel like it's kind of gone.
But I only think that I think he's underrated defensively, and I think the only reason people might question him defensively is literally because of his size and stature. Like, if he was a big, like, you know, 6 foot
like that, like a bigger guy,
everyone would be like, oh yeah, it's sweet. But if you actually watch him, he's so strong. He's good in the air. His first touch is a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Like coming down from there.
Mbumo, crazy first touch.
Yeah, it was interesting because we had that conversation earlier on in the season about whether Ahmad and Mbumo can play together, because they are both quite similar in terms of, you know, left-footed right wingers, like to, you know, get forward and kind of occupy the same spaces. But does performance today, when they've had a bit more time together, make you think, you know what, if they actually are get used to each other's game, it can be a really big help for us?
The test is going to be the next sort of league game, you know, if he can do it, if he can do it against Liverpool. I don't mind saying, I think we spoke about this a few fan forums ago, and we were talking about Ahmad, and I said, prefer him as a number 10. I'm sure Ricky kind of picked me up, and I just said, I prefer him in the 10 because I think it takes something away from his game when he's playing wing-back, because he has to defend. I'd rather have him higher up the pitch. I don't mind doubling down on that now. After a performance like that today, I kind of look and I think, what does Kev know? Do you know what I mean? I'm happy that he's done that, because I do look and I think he is set up. At the same time, I don't want to overreact to one sort of game against Sunderland. But it's certainly a positive that I can look at. Again, there's going to be bigger tests to come, and yeah, the question would be, can he do it against...
Where we're at the minute, and I know where you're coming from, Kev, can he do it in a game like that? We've just spoken, I've just tried to look, but I can't find it. I don't know whether he was at wing back at Liverpool or at City, but he might have been at wing back in both of them games, and he got a goal in both of them games. Anyway, what I was going to say is this. It would be great if we can get him in the big games. It would. But let's not forget where we are, who we are at the minute. You know, if we can start beating all the other teams and playing well against all the other teams, I'll settle for that. It doesn't matter as much as it used to. It used to matter loads when we were the top side and Liverpool and City and Chelsea were our rival. They're not, let's be genuine here, they're not really our rivals at the minute. We need to be beating Brentford, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brighton, them teams who are likely going to be 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. We need to be beating those teams left, right and centre. That's what we need to be doing. We've done it today. Sunderland were in about 6th or so, I think.
Yeah, they started well.
Yeah. We've got to do that. And of course, it'd be fantastic if he can do it against the big sides, but it's not as important as it used to be, because we're not beating the smaller sides often enough. You know, we could have got another, last season, we probably could have got another 30 points off the smaller sides. So beating the bigger sides isn't that important yet. Hopefully we can get to a position where it is important.
You could say we're exactly where we deserve to be this season. You know, the games that we've actually won. We took a point at Fulham. We've beaten Burnley. I thought we played well in the first half of that, and we've beaten Sunderland today, you know, and then the teams that really you'd look at and think, well, Arsenal, Man City, Brentford last week, you could even argue, you know, that they were good last season, they've lost players, but you could look at it and think, really, well, the Chelsea result as well was a bit of a spanner in the works, wasn't it? Because I think a lot of us went in predicting that we didn't fancy really United to win that, yet we got 3 points out of that.
Well, it feels like at home we can put in some good performances.
3 wins out of 4 at home, haven't we?
Well, yeah, exactly. Ruben Amorim has said post-match, 3 consecutive victories at Old Trafford. That's how it should be in a big club. We lost the first one against Arsenal, but we played very well. So we're competitive at home, but we need to be both at home and away. I think he makes a really good point there, because that Arsenal game, I thought we were really competitive and deserved to get more. At Burnley, we won. And now, you know, Chelsea, we won, and now Sunderland, we've won as well. So, home record-wise, it feels like when the fans are there, the team can perform. But away, it's like it's 8 away games without a win now. We've got Anfield away next. By the way, Chelsea are 1 up against Liverpool. Caicedo with an absolute rocket. And also, by the way, Benjamin Sesko currently has more Premier League goals this season than Alexander Isak. Just saying. I think Mason Mount has more goals than Florian Wirtz as well. I'm shameless. That's off the league. But they might not be for long though with Arsenal breathing down the necks. But with that, it's like that's where the real test will be. You know, Anfield away it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive.
We just need to play at home every week, don't we? It'd be nice.
It would be. It's. I do think, you know, being in front of the Old Trafford crowd, having nowhere to hide, is a big part of it. But Ruben Amorim as well, you know, needs to figure that out. So Anfield will be a huge test, especially it's only early doors. But if Liverpool lose to Chelsea after losing to Galatasaray and Crystal Palace, it's big pressure on them to go and get a result against a weakened Manchester United at the moment. So that could be a big one.
Can Ruben get back-to-back wins for the first time?
And Anfield away being the one that does it. Oh, could you imagine?
Nice, wouldn't it?
You'd love it, wouldn't you? I mean, next up, I want to speak a little bit about. I don't know if you caught any of the countdown to kick-off, Kev.
Little bits. I was in and out.
Yeah. Well. Big debate on Dalot or Dorgu to play today at left wing back. If you caught it, Ricky and me understood why Amorim played Dalot, but we both agreed that there was not much in it between him and Dorgu. They've both been pretty poor this season. Mordzs said he doesn't think Dorgu's been amazing, but he doesn't think he's been poor, and he thinks he definitely deserves to start ahead of Dalot.
Yep.
Have your minds changed since the game?
No. I've got even more sure. I'm even more confident that Dorgu should start over Dalot. I don't even want to push any. I'm not trying to do the negative thing because we won today, but oh my gosh, like, come on, like, okay, you tell me what more do you need to see to and again, this isn't even me trying to see that Dorgu is the best wing back in the world or what. He doesn't have to be better than Dalot. Dalot's just not a wing back. And it's clear, the first minute of the game, Dalot lost his man straight away and almost conceded a goal. There were multiple,
touch as well.
There were multiple chances in a game where Dalot, we talk about, oh, but he can put in a cross, he's better than Dorgu going forward. Can he? Like, can he? Are we still running with that argument that he's better offensively? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it any game. So, to me, he's just not a wing-back. Let's just leave it at that. Dalot's not a wing-back, and we force him to play a position that he can't do. Now, Dorgu is more of a wing-back. So for me, I just think he looks better than Dalot, and I think that's just.
He can throw the ball further than Dorgu.
Yeah, okay, you can do the Rory. You can do the Rory Delap. You can do the Rory Delap throw. I don't mind that. Cool, but yeah, it doesn't change anything.
Might be a good reason to keep him in the team.
Do you know why you can do that though, Dalot? Because behind the scenes, he just trains and trains and trains and trains. His mentality and his work ethic, you cannot even question it, especially from knowing people like in and behind the club. He's got that, like, obviously nowhere near the same amount of talent, but he's got the Ronaldo mentality of just working every single day doing everything he can. However, I respect that, but I don't even think it's a debate really between Dalot or Dorgu. I thought Dalot was really poor today, really poor. But what is a debate for me is, well, sorry, not a debate, is we need a left wing back. We do need a left wing back. I don't think Dorgu's good enough. I don't think Dalot's good enough. Leon's obviously young and I don't think he wants to throw him in yet, and who knows if he would be good enough. But I think we need a left wing back. We need somebody who can do what Ahmad does on the left.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question here?
Nice.
Go on.
Our next game is Liverpool away. We're probably going to spend a lot of time without the ball. We're probably going to be pushed back, pinned back for long periods of the game. Mo Salah is probably going to be playing wide on their right. Who would you pick to play against him? I don't necessarily just mean between Dorgu and Dalot either. Anybody else?
As a left wing back.
Yeah, well, it is a left wing back position, but it's likely to be that you're playing more as a left back in that game. We're going to be defending that much. I would imagine. Obviously, you've got. It's a bit of a strange one when you talk about left wing back or you talk about left back, because let's be honest. I was about to say in the modern game, but I remember Terry Cooper. I bet you don't even know who he is. Do you know what I mean? No, an overlapping fullback. You know, fullbacks have to get forward as well. I know they call them wing backs when you're not playing with a winger, but when you're playing 4-4-2, your fullbacks have to get forward and get crosses in. It's pretty similar. But in this game against Liverpool, we are probably going to be pinned back a lot, and our five, you know, the two wing backs will be playing mainly as full backs, even though we've got five. We'll have five across the back for long periods. So
Luke Shaw.
Well, Luke Shaw will probably have to play left-sided centre back, won't he? You know, I think the manager will go with Dalot to put him up against Salah.
There's no way we think.
Is that what you do?
Even defensively,
the manager will do?
We think Luke Shaw can handle Mo Salah. After what happened today and every other game that we've seen this season, I think Dorgu defensively is better than him. I think Dorgu's physically as an athlete.
Defensively better than Shaw?
No, we're talking about Dalot.
Oh, right.
It'd be even Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw's going to play left.
You did say Shaw, but you
Shaw's
meant
going to play
Dalot.
left-sided centre-back without Dalot.
I meant Dalot, yeah. As a wing back, obviously Shaw's not going to play there anyway. But I'm talking about compared to Dalot. Like, I don't see this. I think it's more. It's a stature thing. People just think that Dalot's a big guy. Like he's just a better
Dalot has got the experience that he's played against Salah numerous times before. I can't even remember the game, but they don't beat us every time. He's obviously done okay against him once or twice. I've seen him have Saka in his pocket once at the Emirates. I just think Dalot has got the experience, and I just think, look, they might batter us. They beat us 7-0 the other year. It might be one of the games where after the game I'm saying it's a good game to miss. You know, if Dalot's on the bench and we get beat 4-0, Dalot will be saying, I'm glad I didn't play. And if Dorgu's on the bench and we get beat 4-0, he'll be saying, I'm glad I didn't play. You know what I mean? So it might be a good game to miss, but the manager's got to think about it when he's approaching that game, which player has got a better chance of keeping Mo Salah quiet. And I think he'll go with Dalot. But let's see.
Let's run a poll on it. Let's see what you guys think. Dalot at left wing back against Liverpool at Anfield away, or Dorgu? Let me know. For me, it's a difficult one because I thought Dalot was like, you know how you said like a fly in the ointment. I felt like that's what he was like today. And I thought he was poor against Brentford as well. And I like the guy, but I've got to be honest and objective. You know, we're on a fans forum. I can't just sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter, because he was poor today. I think
under Ten Hag, he improved, didn't he? He was one of the sort of only players. No, that's what the point I was going to make is he's almost kind of gone backwards now under this manager. And you'd think the game, well, the system would be like heavily suited to the way that he wants to play as well, but. For some reason, he has to have a look at himself, doesn't he?
There is one point. What if Mazraoui's back?
Would he play on the left?
Well, we've got an international break. He wasn't there today. What if he's back? I mean, Dalot plays on the left. Why can't Mazraoui, inverted wise?
Couldn't be better than him, I'll be honest.
I know I've brought this up on many other occasions. What about Mazraoui on the right and Ahmad on the left? Why can't that work?
It's just unrealistic.
He's just not going to do it, so there's no...
there's no point.
He's not going to do it. Not going to do it.
But what I was going to say was against Liverpool, I understand your point that we are going to be pinned back a lot, but I feel like against Arsenal, we have the opportunity to actually take the game to them, because we actually played... I thought we had more possession than them in that game. Yeah, and I feel like Arsenal... Yes, it was the first game of the season. They weren't fully up to speed and whatnot, but Liverpool ain't up to speed right now either. So I don't see why can't we go to Liverpool and actually try to take the game to them as well.
The wrap up Haven says Dalot works strategically as Salah likes to cut in with his left foot. Interesting. A lot of people saying Mazraoui if he's fit. I think Mazraoui would be my pick if he's fit, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll keep the poll running, see what you guys think. Just a quick fire. If it was you picking, what would you do?
Basically to mark Salah. Basically to mark Salah. That's the question.
It's not to mark Salah though. I don't think you should look at it like that.
Left wing back at Anfield. Who are you picking?
I think I'd go Dorgu.
Mordzs?
I'm going Dorgu.
I'd go Dalot.
Okay, that's the
Is it 2-2?
I
Just tried to skip that, that didn't go.
Is it 2-2 or is it 3-1?
Just say Dallo. I know you want to say Dallo.
No,
you want to. I know you want to.
It's difficult because I think Dallo was so poor the last 2 games, but Dog, you can be a bit of a... The issue is Dallo is not been good, but I think Dorgu has an ability more to cost us in a big moment, maybe. I don't know.
He doesn't. Compared to Dallo, he does not have ability to cost us in a moment.
Dallo's liable to
Dallo costs us way more.
He is actually.
He costs us way more in big moments.
I don't know. Do you know what? Based off the last 2 performances, I'll go with Dorgu. I'll go with Dorgu. I think they're both poor, but I can't go in and say Dallo when I think he's been...
I don't think you can make a strong argument for either of them. There's like no right answer, really.
What do you guys think? Mario Cabrera says, does anyone else think Ahmad and Dallo are on the wrong side of the pitch?
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I don't want to break up is the Ahmad and Mbeumo partnership, because I think he's predominantly going to play on the right, and I do think that can be lethal coming at you, them two, if they know when to overlap and underlap each other. Because it happened a couple of times in that game, you know, Ahmad's making a good run and Mbeumo comes inside and it takes the defender away, vice versa. It opens up the space for you, which is something we've lacked.
I'd take 0-0 at half-time and then see what happens in the second half. And what I would also like to say, having just suggested something that I know isn't going to happen, I would absolutely love to see Ahmad Diallo marking Mo Salah and see how he does against him. I'd absolutely love it.
I think he'd be good.
Be interesting.
I do. I think he'd give him a right run for his money.
Probably be our best
give him a right run for his money.
To go up against him. But get yours in. To be fair, now I'm looking back on it, I do want to say, because you know so many people coming at me, I have to say, I have to hold my hands up when I am wrong. It's hard to pick between Dallo and Dorgu, but I do have to say Dallo has cost us in the past. There's every player does it some points, but he has made a couple of mistakes. He's bound to have
cost us in the past. He's played about 180 games compared to about 20.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you can't say that.
I'm just guessing the numbers, by the way. He's played a lot of games, hasn't he?
The fact that we're all struggling to pick shows we need a new left wing back. Over and out on that one. Rhino says Gyökeres is under scrutiny as Sesko performs well. I don't think we need to worry about Arsenal right now. We need to worry about ourselves.
I want Arsenal to win.
Jared Ryan says Sesko to me played like a much more talented version of Xerxes, almost like a combo of Berber and Chicharito. I think he has a very bright future. Wow, what a compliment there. K Stone says Ahmad looks good further up at right wing, creates more when given space. Against a team with players like Doku, he won't be free to move forward as much as a right wing back. Siraj says, still not convinced with Bruno in midfield. Maino needs to come in there, and Bruno, if he's so indispensable, needs to start at 10. Amorim needs to figure that out. Christine C says, let's be positive for once. Sunderland are 6th in the league. For me, Lammens, confident, big force, a big difference from Onana and Bayinde. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments coming in. Just a little bit from Ruben Amorim here. And we will speak about the midfield. He said, we need to understand that we need everyone to be ready to play. It's a long season. We have a lot of problems. Anything can happen. The important thing is that the teammates helped. Lammens has had a very good performance as well. So giving credit to Lammens there, he spoke very highly of him after the game, spoke very highly of Sesko, said strikers feed off goals, but what matters to me is how hard you work and you work in the game. He's done both, so he's very happy with him. Mason Mount has been speaking as well on Lammens, said it's important in the Premier League to keep clean sheets. You have to score your chances and then keep a clean sheet. So to do that in the second half was important. Lammens was solid when we were under pressure. The option was Benjamin Sesko, and we worked off that. We are buzzing for him. Everyone was around him today. It can be tough making your first start, but we want to be together, and felt that today to keep moving forward. Just on that, did anyone see De Ligt just go straight up to Lammens at the end and like give him a big hug? I felt that was a big bit of leadership there. And on that, Ricky, what did you think of De Ligt's performance today? Because I know I heard it in the crowd again today, everyone saying De Ligt's been our best player since the start of the season, and I do think he's, in certain games, he's been top class, but he has had moments as well. Today, were you overall happy with him?
Overall, yeah, I thought he played quite well. Most of the team played better today, apart from Dallo. You know, most of the team played well today. Yeah, it was a much better performance, but De Ligt's just a bit he's just a bit clumsy at times for me, a bit more so. You know, when I speak about Luke Shaw, I watch him play and I see his touch, his passing, the weight of his passing.
Yeah, there was one today where he took a heavy touch in the box. He had all the time in the world. I think he went out for a throw-in, didn't it? Where I thought, what's he doing?
That touch was unbelievably bad.
Really
you know
bad.
I mean? And in that touch, something that Luke Shaw's good at, by the way, he did it twice today. He's brilliant at getting hard up against a player and then just easing him away from the ball without putting his hands on him. And I bet I see him do it once every week. There was somebody clipped one up the other week when we played here against Chelsea, and I think they filmed it themselves from the Stretford end, and it was on Twitter. He just runs into, you know, the ball's coming that way, and he could go for the ball, but he just runs into him and just pushes him away from the ball and lets it go. And he did that, and he did that, and it's dangerous in your own box, but he doesn't put his hands on him. That's the thing. So that ball today, where you're talking about the touch that De Ligt took, the ball's coming across from the right wing, and there's a striker. So as the ball's coming, can they see this on the camera? So as the ball's coming across, the striker's trying to run onto the ball as it's coming across, but Shaw's behind him, and Shaw just runs with him and just pushes him out of the way with his chest. Gets away with it. He collapses on the deck. He appeals, and Beth just waves it away. But the ball goes through to De Ligt. Nobody on De Ligt, and he more or less boots it into the crowd. You know, the difference is chalk and cheese. It is chalk and cheese.
Well, I was happy with the back three today.
He played fine. He played fine. He's just not quite as good as everybody thinks he is, De Ligt. Yoro played very well.
Okay,
very
good.
Well, yeah.
Good.
Very well.
You've been a critic of his, so that's nice.
It's having a solid foundation, isn't it? Yeah. The new goalkeeper, especially like you say at the end when De Ligt's going up to him and hugging him or whatever. Them defenders need that. You know, in any decent team, you certainly build from the back, and you need that foundation. Hopefully, again, I don't want to get too carried away with one performance, but he's come in. It's a very, very difficult role. It's been problematic. We've had keeper after keeper since obviously David De Gea left the club, and at this moment when we judge it on 95 minutes of football, the fact he's kept a clean sheet, you can only be positive moving on to the next game, which just happens to be Liverpool.
It does. I mean, in terms of Liverpool, do you think Casemiro and Bruno will still start together in that midfield too, and do you think that they played well together today?
I think they complement each other. I must say, listen, when I heard the team sheet today, I know we've won, and hindsight's a great thing looking back, but I was like, I cannot believe that Bruno's in the middle again. You know, I do look at it as being a bit of an issue, but I hold my hands up today. He played well against Chelsea, Bruno, and he played well today as well. I think that probably today as well is testament to Casemiro. I think he's got that kind of blend in the middle, right? They didn't leave the gaps. Bruno wasn't isolated. You know, we had Bruno coming out after the City game. You know, this is what was driving me mad about the so-called system. You've got Bruno Fernandes sort of questioning Amorim and saying, we were getting outrun in the midfield. They were dropping an extra 1-2. We were outnumbered by 2. Yet we're all sat here debating it and saying, well, how can the manager, not see this?
I've been saying it for years.
Yeah, but you have to react to them situations, even on field. We've had Fulham players after Fulham. We knew how to play against them.
And we can get behind their midfield.
It's so easy, and you're thinking, why is the manager not?
I'm surprised there hasn't been more made of that. Bruno saying that.
It's a huge thing.
It's a huge thing. He's basically...
You're undermining the manager.
He's basically levelling that at the manager.
Questioning
the overran us because there's only 2 of us.
Yeah. He's almost saying, come on, I need a bit of extra help in here. It's crazy.
Which he still hasn't done, except the fact that Mount, he's tweaked it with Mount coming in. Maybe Mount would have played then if he was fit.
But that did make a huge difference. But
he's still not playing as a midfield player. He's playing as a 10.
Yeah.
But
he's more of a 10. Funnily enough, we were speaking a little bit about this before, on the build-up show about Crystal Palace, and somebody sent in a super chat saying Crystal Palace play the same as us. Don't play the same as us. Their two 10s get back behind the ball quicker. Yeah. So when they've got the ball, suddenly there's 4 in midfield instead of 2. Yeah. Today, for a check, because normally we've got, let's be honest, Kuna and Mbuemo recently. I'm not criticising them for this. I'm not criticising them. I'm really not criticising them for this. That's how they play. That's their game, right? But Mason Mount is more of a midfield player. He's more of a workhorse. I'm not saying they don't work hard, but you need to be switched on. You've got to do it instantly and not think about it. When they lose the ball, Mason Mount gets behind the ball straight away. And it was turning us into a 3-man midfield. Yeah. It makes us more solid.
Yeah.
Do you think Cunha wins his place back for Liverpool away, or do you think he'll have to hold the bench again?
No, he's holding the bench. There's no way he's dropping Mount. I just can't see it.
As long as Mount stays fit,
if he's fit, Mount
I think on that performance today, he deserves it. And I always say it should be, you shouldn't be in the team off name, or regardless of how much you paid for you, whatever, you're only as good as your last game. So for me, he walks into that team. As long as he is fit for that game, on performance today, he deserves to be in. I
agree, you've got to win your place back. And I think Amorim, you know, he made 5 changes today, which I think was necessary and was a good thing. It showed that Brentford performance was unacceptable. The team played well, we won the game. I would expect very little changes against Liverpool at Anfield. It's a different opposition, you are away from home, I get that. Tactically, you might need to set up slightly different, but I absolutely think Mason Mount has to start if he's fit. So it would be Mount and Mbeumo for me,
Liverpool
and Sesko
away,
as well.
For Liverpool away, Sesko will play.
Yeah.
Mount and Mbeumo will play. Casemiro and Bruno will play. Dalla or Dorgu, that's up in the air. Ahmad will play right wing back because there's no room for him at 10. The 10s are spoken for. Ahmad will play right wing back. Dalla or Dorgu on the left. I don't think he'll put Mazraoui there. Shaw will play. De Ligt will play. And then, if Mazraoui's fit, it's between Yoro, Maguire and De Ligt for the other centre-back spot. I think it might be Maguire. I think he might go back to De Ligt, Maguire and Shaw.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
I think he might.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm just telling you.
I just think. I know. I just think against the speed of Liverpool's front line. But who knows? You might be right. We'll have to wait and see. Tune in, and let's see. Vicky said Mount might be good at 8, swap with Bruno. He played brilliant in the 10 today. I wouldn't change that, but I think he could play there. Anyway, guys, it's time for Man of the Match.
Already?
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We've got a
boy.
Saturday night out to get on to. We've won. Woo! I'm out. I mean, if we lose, I'm out as well, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
We're not losing, we're on the booze.
Exactly. JV Sahar says, Ricky, I'm scratching my head and it's bleeding. Potentially over your Luke Shaw takes. I think so. Anyway, a lot of people are claiming you have some sort of relation.
Should we do that one?
Oh, we didn't even do the poll.
Did we not do it?
You didn't do it.
Was the poll run?
I didn't.
Oh, apparently, okay. The poll wasn't ran. All right. But the poll on who plays left wing back, Dorgu 82%.
82%.
Over Dallo 18%. Anyway, man of the match.
I'll go.
I'm going
Ahmad.
Sene. I'm going goalkeeper, Sene.
That's a good shout.
That is a good shout.
It's hard to see past Ahmad, I think. Did you say Ahmad, Kev?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go Luke Shaw.
Anyone but Shaw. He had to get that in, didn't he?
Not even.
You go Ahmad.
Mason Mount was better than.
Sorry?
I say Mason Mount before Luke Shaw.
Mason Mount played very well as well. It's a bit churlish. Shaw played great. Ahmad played great. Mason Mount played great.
Refreshing, isn't
Sesko
it?
played very well.
Well, who's your man of the match?
Striker doesn't get in the game as much
Shaw.
as them players.
Got a goal.
You know, I'll go with Ahmad then. Ahmad.
So you're going Ahmad,
Sene. Clean
Sene
sheet.
Lammens and Ahmad. Right, well, mine was between Ahmad and Mount, so I'm going to go with Mount, just to give him a little bit of a shout out, because he got us off the mark. And do you know that's the earliest goal we've scored since Ruben Amorim's first game in charge against Ipswich?
Really?
So it's always
Took
good
it
to get
really
an
well
early,
as well.
yeah.
The 50th
We
game as
haven't
well.
even discussed that, have we?
Yeah,
What a good
50th
goal
game.
it was.
Yeah, fantastic goal. That's he's just a good footballer. It's just a good footballer.
Comments will be going wild now. Beth loves Mount.
Yeah, Beth loves him. Magic moment. Anyone got one?
The crowd cheering when Lammens
catches the ball.
caught his first ball.
I bet he thought.
The relief.
Yeah, I bet he thought, what
that's definitely it.
What is going on?
I kind of wish Bruno shot went in.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Good shot.
I was actually going to say that. I know we didn't score from it, but I thought that save, when you talk about a magic moment, you know, from Bruno, from a standing point, the skill, the execution, top cut, and when you see the replay from behind as well, it's almost like De Gea-esque, wasn't it?
It was.
Just literally, you know, fingertip save. It was a cracking save.
I'm going to go with Sesko's goal, because I thought he had such a good game today. It's good to shout him
Breeds
out a little
confidence
bit.
as well.
Yeah.
He needs to be on the goal trail, which he is now, because he scored, 2 in 2, isn't it? Back-to-back
2 in 2.
games.
Love to see
Prolific.
it. Have you got one, Kev, or are you just rolling with everyone else's?
No, I'll just roll with you.
Nice one. Marlo says, Dallo and Shaw were our worst players today by a mile. Jake M says, it's a big thing now going on. Jake M says, our midfielders are all scared to jump for headers as well. Casemiro is the only one who doesn't flap. We need a centre mid who isn't scared to get a bit hurt. We need a Casemiro replacement. Yes, we do, because he's going to be going. And I don't think anyone can do it as well as he does. Still not the be all and end all, but he's probably the best we've got.
I was thinking of Ricky today when Casemiro got booked with 10 minutes left. I said, I bet Ricky's in this crowd going, get him off!
As soon as it happened, Aaron turned to the bench and was like,
yeah. And then I bet Ricky will be applauding that. He'll be saying, well done, Ruben, for bringing him off before he gets sent off.
Well, guys, that is all we have time for on tonight's Fans Forum. What an absolute cracker. We love it. We love it even more when we get a win. Thank you for all staying with us. If you're not watching already, because you might have a dual screen going on. It's like when there's 2 games of football on. You know, you've got a little 2-screen job going on. Goldbridge is live on That's Football currently. Chelsea versus Liverpool.
Score, is it?
It's 1-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So,
back-to-back losses.
Go and tune into that, potentially. But also as well, guys, what we've got going on is tomorrow, Newcastle versus Forest on That's Football too, and it's going to be a big one because Ange Postecoglou already under a little bit of pressure. So make sure you tune into that, and of course, all the latest updates on the United Stand shows as well. But that is it until after the international break. No.
Just as we've built a bit of momentum now, we get an international break, eh?
But Kev, lovely.
Pleasure as always.
Do you know what? I feel like when you wear that jacket, we always do pretty well.
I think it does bring good luck. I need to just wear it every week now.
There
you go. Number 7.
Mordzs as well. Thank you very much.
No worries,
and Ricky, are you in the country? Are you going? What's going on?
I may be going away on Thursday. Maybe. It's not confirmed yet.
Well, make sure you get Mordzs around before then.
Okay, we've got till Thursday.
Exactly.
And either one of you two want to come to
the referee.
I'll put it in my diary.
I'll be over the moon.
Bring me
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
Love it. Right. Thank you everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video if you've not already, and we will see you on the next one.